All right, let's try this again. And I believe, yes, we are recording this time because I'll give you a little blooper right here. Oh my God, I wasn't recording that whole fucking time. That really fucking sucks. Yeah, I didn't realize I wasn't recording. So here we go again. It's January 19th, 2019. It's 4:11 p.m. this time. And I just wanted to get this first podcast out and published and to share with everybody. I thought about it where I was like, man, that first one's 17 minutes long, and that's a little bit lengthy, maybe. But I started thinking about like, well, a lot of podcasts are almost like even an hour long. So my goal is now to just kind of get everything that I've got written down into this podcast for you. And if somebody wants to watch the whole hour, they can. But I'm also planning then to just cut out the little snippets and just kind of post those little shorter video clips so people can kind of share with that. So first thing I'm going to go with is kind of current event topic and some kind of quick things to check out or read this weekend or whenever you got time, I guess. Doesn't matter. But one thing, too, I just thought to mention is that today is National Popcorn Day. So go out and maybe go to the movies and get a bag of popcorn or just hang out at home and make your own sweet treat. Sweet, it's salty. I don't know why I said sweet treat. Because I keep thinking lately about people that like dump M&Ms into their popcorn. And I don't know about that. It looks good. It looks like a cool, sweet idea. But at the same time, I don't know. I like my popcorn. I like my salty stuff. I don't think I need the sweet in there. But hey, don't beat it till you try it, right? So, National Popcorn Day. Another thing I saw was this cool video actually this morning. A friend of mine, Jesse, had posted of a guy who saw a comedian, Bert Kreischer, run a half marathon. And I don't know, maybe like some other videos that showed Bert like getting prepared for that crazy endeavor, but it just motivated him because Bert's kind of a bigger guy. He's a big comedian. He jokes about it. And this dude though is real big. He was 475 pounds. So and he knew, he's like, hey, like I'm motivated now and I gotta change it. And so it was really interesting and inspirational video where you just see this guy, get it in his head one day that like he's got to change it all. And so he just wakes up. He starts with walking. He asks his good buddies to go for a walk with him, and they said yes. So his first video starts with like maybe I think it was like one or two dudes helping him, and suddenly it goes from just like probably walking a shorter distance to then saying that's the first time I walked around there without stopping, and like that was a good goal for him. And then all of a sudden you see like the 1 mile walk that he had, and then a 7.5 trek through the woods that he's going to go and take. So highly recommend you go try to find that video. It was really sweet, and I was glad that my friend shared it because it's another one of those things where like when you just wake up and you're like, I gotta just do it and change it. And he mentions that his knees hurt one day, and but there's always crazy inspirations where like Diamond Dallas Page of all people showed up and gave him some like Diamond Dallas Page yoga workout thing. And so the guys are doing that. So he mentioned like, oh, my knees are just killing me after doing that. And he wanted excuses to stop, but he kept going. And for, a full year, he was able to, get from where he was at 475 to, I'm not going to tell you because maybe you should just go watch the video and find out for yourself. But it was really cool. It was a really sweet video. Another thing too that is pretty popular right now is the whole 10-year challenge thing that I kind of even mentioned in the episode 0. I do still think it's kind of a Facebook scam or like a facial recognition scam, which kind of sucks. It's like one of those things that people are like using us as like, we do their homework for them, and then they're going to put out something that we're going to end up needing to like pay a bunch of money for because it's technology that's used in this device or whatever, And it's kind of like, you wouldn't have that technology if I didn't do that 10-year challenge thing back in the day. Okay. So maybe don't have it as $1,000 device or whatever. But anyway, I still think it's cool. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool to see people that, are super happy and like excited about, like, dang, that's where I was and that's where I'm at now. And like, honestly, the comments on it, they've all been like great. Like usually you get into like some comments, and again, they're kind of nightmarish. But this one, it's always been good and positive, and people making jokes. And I like the ones too where it's like the big thing that changed is that I don't have hair on my head now. I have it all over my face, or whatever, something like that. Because that's what it's like being a guy. We for some reason start losing our hair on our head, and it just starts pouring out of our eyebrows. For me, anyway, like it's crazy. You wonder why old men have bushy eyebrows? It's just because one day we were like, I can't control these. I just can't control these damn things anymore. Y'all just gonna have to deal with it. So I think it's a different age nowadays. Everybody's kind of doesn't matter if you trim your eyebrows, but I'm just saying those 68-year-old guys that have the bushy eyebrows, like they've been having those bushy eyebrows for like 30 years at that point. So don't just give them a little slack. So that's but the 10-year challenge thing that I saw today was a little bit sadder. It was a 10-year side by side of the environments that are out there. And so like they showed kind of like this big like dam or a lake or a river or something, and now how 10 years later it's almost a desert. Like there's no water running through the river, or the lake bed has like dried up, and you can see on the edges like how it's kind of like where it was and now this is where it is. Sad too that sometimes it hasn't even been 10 years. It's been like 6 years, and yeah, that was only taken 6 years ago, and that's already how bad it is. And I don't know, it was one of those that you just look at like, man, it's sad. Like I wish I could do something. Like what can we, I want to do something, and that's where I think like just throwing it in there, it's like the whole straw argument where people like, oh, you don't have straws. Like I don't know, I don't use a straw at home. Like I drink out of my cups like they're normal cups. If I go to your house, I drink out of your cups like they're normal cups, and I guess the only thing I can just hope for is that, yeah, you washed them really well. The same that the cups at Applebee's or wherever I'm going, I hope that they wash those cups really well. And I'm okay not having a straw to drink out of a cup. I'm used to it, So after that 10-year challenge item too, another thing that I read this week that buddy of mine, Eric, had posted was this Rolling Stone article, and it's titled, Andrew Yang Wants to Be President and Give You $1,000 a month. I mean, yeah, sign me up. What do you mean? Why am I getting $1,000 a month? Like, what did I do? Like, that sounds interesting. So of course I'm like, yeah, open up the article, start reading. And it went from kind of being excited about that whole $1,000 a month bit to kind of being scared because of the reason that he wants to suggest this $1,000 a month. They call it a freedom dividend in the article, or he calls it that, I'm assuming. But it's because everything is going to automation. I mean, the example that they use a lot in the article is truck driving, and how that's going to be, it's the statistics are all in the video, in the article, but it's basically just saying that so many jobs are going to be lost because it's going to just be automated cars and trucks or delivery tanks, I don't know what, but all that is going to go from having some driver that needs to do it who works like 8 hours or more a day to, get something from Walmart factories and warehouses to the store to wherever, and that's all going to be automated. It's not even going to be a robot in the car driving. It's just a computer driving where it needs to go, dropping things off and making it. And that thing can drive all day, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as it has gas or energy in it, it can run. And so it's a pretty eye-opening article once you get to that part of like seeing like, whoa, like what we're in store for in terms of automation and like how many other jobs are going to be impacted by this, and how all of our lives are going to be changing by this. I mean, almost scary. We're going to get to that Wall-E world where all of us are just in a chair and don't have to like get up or do anything. It's just like, I'm going to think about having food in this. Perfect. And so I don't know. It was a cool article though, and I'm glad my buddy shared it, and I definitely recommend you go out and find that one. Again, Rolling Stone, Andrew Yang wants to be president and give you $1,000 a month. All right, so that's about it for current events. The other thing that I went to this week is I saw the movie The Raid, and that one was pretty wild. Like, if you got a friend that isn't interested in watching fighting movies and that sort of stuff, don't take them to this one. You know, this is it's a pretty brutal, awesome fighting movie, um, and I think one of the best parts too in it was the sound. So I mean, I've seen this movie in my home before, and it just I don't know, it was good. One of the things I did because it's another language, I put it in Spanish, like speaking with English subtitles, so that I could kind of practice that way. Because otherwise, it was going to be in a different language with English subtitles, and I'd rather practice my Spanish. So that's a trick you can do. It's on Netflix actually. But I encourage you, if you can, to get out and see this movie in a theater if possible, or some friend that has like really awesome sound bar and like sound system in their house, because the movie doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue. There's not a whole lot of script. There's not a whole lot of plot even. It is just dudes that enter a building and it's a fight for your life. It's like the building is hell. They have like walked into hell. They broke in and it was like, hey, we're here to party, and then we got to break out eventually at some point. And so it's crazy. But again, the sound is amazing. It just makes you feel so like tense. And like the other thing too about watching it, I think with the audience was really cool when there would just be certain scenes, and people that have seen it, imagine you can think of a number of scenes that occur in that movie, but it was like a whole collective, all of us like, oh, like you just could tell everybody around you just felt that one. It was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, like yeah, I know, I saw that one. That was wild. And so it was just, I love those movie experiences. I can think of another movie that did that. It's called Upgrade, but that one had some moments too where it's just like the audience collectively had a reaction. Like we all felt that one, and that's what's cool about movies, honestly. So The Raid, I definitely recommend going and checking that out. There's a cool small theater out here. It's called the Trilon Cinema. And I encourage people to go out and see if you have anything like that in your town that just has, old school, one screen, and it's played on film. Like you can see those little like burn marks that we all learned about in Fight Club, the cigarette burn, and changing the reels. And so, yeah, it was just a fun experience getting to do that. And I love going to movies at that place. I want to go check more out. So, oh, this next one is a fun one too. The Gillette commercial. So everybody is like, apparently, I mean, it's not surprising these days, like when you see like just the divide that people have on like, why this or why that. And like, sometimes I don't always understand why people get so upset about it. Like I can get that you don't understand it. And so this commercial is one where they're trying to end toxic masculinity. And maybe not end it, but I think that they're trying to encourage guys to, be better, be the best a man can be. And now I'm kind of saying that as a joke because I honestly, when I was a kid, I remember Gillette commercials. Like I remember growing up in Indiana and the Gillette commercials, like much like coffee commercials, those like Folgers, best part of waking up. Yeah, well, Gillette was the best a man could get. And so I, even as a kid, kind of saw it two ways. Like it was the best shave a man could get. This is the best razor. Like this will give you the best shave and like you will feel like the best man. And that's where I get like the other part of it is that, yeah, you shaving this is beginning to like, you're beginning your day then as that best man, like I'm going to shave this face clean and then I'm going to put on my suit and tie and I'm going to go to this wedding or I'm going to go to my job or do whatever I got to go do. And I'm going to, I feel my best because I use the best razor out there, right? This isn't even a promo for I hate shaving. It's not a fan of me. It doesn't feel great. I prefer a little stubble. So, and that's what I'm just saying is like, I think that people were, just wondering like, why does Gillette get to have a say in any of this? And, like what's about Gillette that like, why do you get to come out with this toxic masculinity commercial? Like, who are you to talk about this? And that's my point is that I think Gillette was like, dude, our commercials were made just to talk about men. It was the best a man could get. And so, yeah, I think we do get to talk about like, hey, we want these men to be the best men that they can be, and like to teach good lessons to kids and other like young boys that are going to grow up and be men, So I don't have any issue with it. Like, that's my stance on the commercial. I think it's great. Like, I hope that they do get rid of, this whole toxic masculinity idea. I hate when guys catcall women to the point that they are so uncomfortable. Like, it's sad when you see somebody and like that happens, and, or somebody getting bullied to the point that, they got to run away. And it's strange because I think that there's some people that are like, they see that as like the weakness. Like, oh, you're running. Like, why don't you stay and like fight and like stay and get my butt kicked, or like who knows what? Like, my glasses broken, my backpack taken off of me, and like everything taken out of it. Like, that doesn't sound like fun. Like, no, I don't want to stay and fight that. I'm going to run. I'm going to run away. And, in the end, I don't have a problem with being that male that will stop other kids from like beating up another kid, where I'm just like thinking like, dude, there's 8 of you. Like, think about this for a second, children. There's 8 of you and 1 of him. What were you going to do when you get him? What was your plan? Like, that's what I mean. Is you're going to break his glasses? You're going to take all the stuff out of his backpack and like throw it all over the place, push him to the ground, kick him, punch him. Like, whoa. It's a little weird. It's a little bit like, maybe think about what you're doing, man. Like, it's so unnecessary. Just let him go home. Who cares? Or the guy that's catcalling some woman. I'm just saying, I am that guy. I'm that guy. I would be that guy for all of you, that if somebody's making you feel uncomfortable, like, I am somebody where maybe even like there might be, I've never had anything super extreme happen to me where I needed to step in. But I definitely have had moments where, somebody I could tell was just not feeling great, not feeling comfortable. And I have definitely stepped in and been like, hey, you can stand over here, or like, hey, dude, you need to just calm down and stop talking to this person this way. Like, I don't know. So for me, I have no problem with the Gillette commercial because I am that guy in the commercial. So I imagine that other guys that don't have a problem with that commercial either. I hope that you're that guy. And it's kind of sad when I hear those other dudes that are like, it's not even a masculine dude. It's like, man, then you're like are you, well, I don't know, but it's just, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the whole Gillette commercial. Like, I think that commercials are powerful ways of getting messages across. I mean, obviously, like, they wouldn't pay gazillions of dollars for 30 seconds of advertisement air on the Super Bowl if they really didn't want you to go out and buy cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? If they really didn't want you to like start thinking about their product. Like, sometimes that blows my brain, honestly. Like, I don't always understand why like McDonald's is going to pay gazillion dollars to put themselves on Super Bowl ad, because it's like, we know you. We know McDonald's. Like, what do you mean? Like, I just drive down the road and your big bright yellow signs are everywhere. I don't understand why you guys just spent $1 billion for 60 seconds of ad time. But I don't know. I don't make those decisions. So, but yeah. So that's it. That's it for the, at least, event situation, I would say. The next bit that I want to get into is sports. So yeah, I probably am about losing, 2/3 of the audience at this point, or whoever's left watching, because I know sports ain't always the most fun thing to talk about, but I love sports. I grew up playing them, and I think they're fun to watch. It's great competition. And the first thing I'll start with are the football games that are taking place tomorrow. You got 2 teams going at it. First is going to be let me double check actually. Who is it going to be? I want to say, I know the one is the Chiefs and the Patriots. NFL playoff schedule. Let's see. Yeah, we got the Rams versus the Saints are first at 2:05 p.m. And then you've got the Patriots and the Chiefs, and those are at 5:40. And ooh, too. That's interesting. I didn't really think about that. The Patriots don't look like they're at home, so that'll be. They're pretty scary at home. So yeah, that actually adds to it. So one of my things I want is I kind of want the Chiefs to win. So yeah, that's where I stand. I want the Chiefs to win, to beat the Patriots. Yeah, I'm not one of the biggest fans of the Patriots, but that's not really why I want them to win. I think that Patrick Mahomes has done incredible things this season as a rookie. So, or not a rookie, I'm sorry, but like, you know what I mean? He's like super new. And so he's done incredible things. They also had an amazing battle earlier in the season, and that was just a fun game to watch. The Patriots ended up winning that one. And so I think it would be cool if the Chiefs came back and kind of like, like you beat us in the season, but we beat you in the playoffs kind of thing, like we still, our battle is a little bit better. And so that would be a good one to see. And then on the other side is the Rams versus Drew Brees and those New Orleans Saints. Well, I'm sorry, Saints fans. My team got beat by the Rams. I think the Rams have a very good team. And so I would rather see the Rams win. I'm also a person that lives in Minnesota, and we don't have the best history with the Saints. So I know it was a long time ago, but I'm just saying with the pieces that fell together, I'd rather watch the Rams win. And then the other bigger than all those reasons that I want to have the Chiefs and the Rams go at it is that early in the season, I don't know if you guys watched that 51-54 battle that those two went through. That was such a good game. Like, I would want to see that one again. Now I feel nervous too that I gotta like double check all this stuff because I was looking at it earlier and I swear it was at 51-54, but now I'm worried it was like the Chargers or something like that I saw. So hopefully not. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure. Oh boy. How far back was this? Where was this? It was the Rams versus the Chiefs. That's what I thought. 11-19. That was a crazy game. It was. It was a nuts game to watch, and that's what I mean. So that's where my vote is for those two teams to go at it again. All right. The other thing that is happening today, I mean, there's quite a few other sports going on, like the Wild are playing, stuff like that. It's a big hockey day in America, I want to say, or at least in Minnesota, because we love our hockey here. So of course, I hope that the Wild win. I don't even know who they're playing, honestly. I just remember that that's happening. The thing that I will probably be watching is the UFC fight that's going on tonight. There's a big championship battle. If you're not a big UFC fan, that's where I would probably just jump into the championship match because it'll be a good one. At least I think so, and I hope so. You got two guys that one of them just got the championship off of Demetrius Johnson. So this is Cejudo that just got that belt from Demetrius, who, man, Demetrius was one of the best pound for pound fighters out there. Like, that one ended up kind of being a decision win. So I don't know. I kind of give it to the other guy at this point. Like, just because, I don't know. Demetrius Johnson was so good. And then to have it go to decision, and then he loses the belt, and then he goes to another branch of fighting company. It's like one championship. I don't know. It's kind of like, is this for the sport? Just so like it kind of, he doesn't like have a belt and then just like, I was so good, nobody could beat me, that I just got to go to another sport because nobody can really handle me here. So I didn't know if it was one of those like, well, before he goes, just like take the belt away from him. That's my conspiracy theory. I don't know. So we'll see, though. We'll see if Cejudo can come out tonight and beat the other guy who's named Dillashaw. And so this Dillashaw guy, he just came from a pretty sweet matchup that had like a lot of story behind it. It was like him and his old training partner, Corey Garbrandt. I hope that's how you say his name, right? Dude's just like tatted up like crazy. And it was cool. I mean, like, I really thought that Dillashaw was not going to win that one just because he was kind of like the little bit quieter guy, like just seemed a lot more reserved. The other guy was, more of like a Conor McGregor, outspoken and super confident and everything. And so he went out though and found out that Dillashaw was serious that day, and he got beat. Um, and so, you never know what's going to happen tonight, because Dillashaw came out on stage looking ultra confident. And so you never know. Like, maybe he goes into that match way too confident, and the other guy knows, like, hey, I need to put up a better show than I did with against Mighty Mouse. And so we'll see. That's why I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a good fight either way. One thing, so it's kind of, the UFC is starting to kind of resemble what I remember from back in like I watched the WWE when it was the WWF, and they had that whole, like, before that controversy and everything. And so back then, like when you had Hulk Hogan and like Macho Man Randy Savage, I'll see you Sunday. Like, these guys that you couldn't put in a room together because suddenly it was just a backstage brawl. And that was like the fun part of wrestling, honestly, is that these two dudes would like start as just kind of like weigh-ins, and then next thing you know, yeah, they're in the back area and the fight's just like, oh, the fight is happening. This is just taking place right now. And like, that's the excitement of wrestling. It still is. Still entertaining, I'm sure. I don't watch it. But so that it is. Like, the UFC is starting to me become a little bit of that. Like, it's a lot of like showmanship, and these guys that just came out wearing like big glasses and like chains and these like fur coats. Cejudo came out and he has like a snake, and he just starts like beating the snake on the ground, and like, I'm assuming he's kind of saying like, you're the snake, I'm gonna smash you like a plastic snake, and it was like, whatever, okay, fine, do all that. So my other, like, what I'm boiling it down to though is honestly Dana White and his arm thing. Like, if you watch the weigh-ins these days, like, Dana White he'll put his arm out in front of and just like, you don't cross that line right here. It's kind of like, Dana, like, what is your arm really gonna do? Like, I really think that if those guys wanted to go at it, they would just push your arm out of the way and like go after each other. You would need every man in the room probably to stop them from going at it if they really wanted to fight each other. And so, I don't know. I kind of miss the old days where, two guys would come out on stage, they do their weigh-in, they do their flex pose or whatever it was. And honestly, most of them would shake hands and, or like, honestly, like hug or something, or like fist bump, like whatever it was. And then that was it. Dana White stands there. He doesn't put his arm out in front of these guys. I think he can tell that like he has no fear that these two paid professionals are not going to start their fight like 24 hours early. That these two guys are coming in, they're calm, they're cool, level-headed. They know 24 hours, bro, it's me and you. We're in that cage together. There's nobody here. There's no arm in the way anymore. It's just me and you doing this. And, you want some examples? Go watch UFC 129 weigh-in, Randy Couture versus Lyoto Machida. I mean, just go YouTube it, like right now, real quick. And then jump to the 217-minute mark and watch those two dudes when they get on stage and when they what they do against each other. Another good example is Matt Hughes versus Josh Koscheck. And go to the 133-minute mark of that weigh-in and just watch these two dudes, which is still kind of surprising because Josh Koscheck used to be kind of one of those cockier guys back in the day, and you could see that it was just like they were humble. They went in, they shook hands. And for me, it was something that I always found like what set the UFC apart from even other sports out there. A lot of people say that, this UFC is a barbaric sport. These guys are fighting each other and they're beating the crap out of each other or whatever. And they're not wrong. It is. But I also remember, though, and like I said, go watch those two weigh-ins. It was that they had two people that were very professional. They were controlled, and they knew, like, yeah, if I wanted to, I could take out probably a number of people in this room by myself. And these guys, though, like, they come out on stage. They knew what they needed to do. They shook each other's hands even. They shook hands with Dana White. They posed for their shot, and then they went back, and they knew, like, hey, tomorrow we get to go at it for real tomorrow. Like, I don't need to fake it on stage and put up some like act and showboat and like make everybody get all excited that we're gonna like fight right here and right now, And like I said, like, it's not wrestling. We're in wrestling. That could happen. And I definitely watched some moments where it was like guy in an interview, another guy interrupts his interview and just bashes him on the head, and like suddenly that brawl is on. But that's wrestling. I'm talking UFC paid professionals that, coming in making $100,000s on these fights. And so I just think it's kind of silly that Dana White puts his arm up in front of these guys thinking that he's going to stop them from anything. Like, I wish that Dana would just go back to those old days where he's like, look, I'm paying you both a ton of money right now. Show up, showboat, do your thing, whatever. Nobody crosses this line, though. Like, I'm not putting my arm up anymore to, like, show the line because I look silly doing it. So just know that there's a line there and you don't cross it. Offsides on the champion. You back up over there, dude. You need 5 yards. Like, maybe that's what they need. It's like a penalty. I mean, I've even thought about that. Like, if a dude does get a little bit too rowdy at a thing, like, why not start at being like, all right, first round of your fight, you're down a point. You're at 9. So next time, just chill out when you're on stage with those guys doing your weigh in, and you won't have to start a point down. Meaning that it's scored out of 10, by the way. So starting a point down means that you're going to finish that match at a 9, giving your opponent the opportunity to be at a 10. So if you want to, let's say, win that round, you would have to really do well, either knock the guy out or just do really well that round, that you would either tie the round at a 9-9 or winning at 9-8, which would be, man, you really kicked that dude's butt. And I can see why maybe you were kind of a freak on stage during your weigh-in. So, but I'm just saying, I miss those days. I think I covered everything. I'm going to add, some more later, I think, but I think it's just a good way to end that one on the sports. And, yeah, I don't think I missed anything. I feel like I might have, just because, like I said, I recorded this a minute ago and then it didn't record, of course. And so, yeah, I don't know. You lost maybe some like good bits on that one, but I don't know. This is all part of the working it out and getting it going. Like I said, episode 2's coming up, episode 1 in the books right now. And so, yeah, hope you all enjoy, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.